All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chelas con Chavos. What's up, Miguel? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Good, man.
A little bit upset at the last week's result. It's just
Yeah,
it's been a pretty interesting week for San Diego Loyal fans. But I mean, I'm happy to be back home for a little bit. I'll be back home permanently next week, so I'm pretty excited about that.
yeah. Welcome back to Cali, man. You've been out, so we've been you've been across the country. I've been in the west, you've been in the east.
Yeah,
So now you made it back home. So that's good to have you back. So we'll
thanks.
probably have a show soon with both of us actually face to face.
Yeah, no, that'd be super cool, man.
Yeah, so we're working on that before season end. But yeah, everybody, so welcome to the show. It is a Friday evening, or gonna be evening. Tomorrow, ST Loyal is gonna be playing against San Antonio in San Antonio. The team's already there, of course. We're gonna be getting into a little bit of a discussion on that a little bit later. But before we continue on the show, I wanted to see if you what's up with some Chavos news.
Hey, man. So it's been kind of slow recently, like, just coming up towards the end of the season. Right now, I think the main thing for activity is that we're going to be starting planning here pretty soon their turkey drive. So hopefully that kind of starts picking up steam in October, maybe like towards the end of November. Um, we do not have an official watch party for tomorrow. I know that's something you and I were going to talk about tomorrow. I mean, actually, like a little bit later on during the show. But tomorrow we do not have an official watch party set on hand. So, enjoy with your family. There's a lot of sporting events going on in San Diego, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people doing plenty of things, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
there's a UFC tomorrow.
Yep.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on with that.
Yeah.
But Nate Diaz is fighting. It looks like they changed the card, so he's gonna be fighting Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. That's gonna be a
And
good one.
yeah, so they changed up the card for that. So it's gonna be a
Mhm.
pretty good fight tomorrow. Probably the farewell for Nate Diaz. So a lot of
Mhm.
people are gonna be watching that at different places. The Dodgers are in town playing against the Padres.
Starting tonight.
San Diego, yeah, and tonight, yeah, and San Diego State's playing tomorrow as well against Idaho State, and so that's going to be over at Snapdragon. So there's
Yep.
quite a few events going on tomorrow. So that's one of the reasons why there wasn't specifically a watch party. But we do have some promotions, in regards to if you do want to go somewhere. It's going to rain probably tomorrow too. The weather's going to be a little bit icky, so
Yep.
if you're in North County, we'll mention that where to go, and you're in East County, I'll mention that where to go, and you're in South Bay, we'll mention that where to go.
Exactly.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, it's been a minute since we talked, and right now we're at the point of the season, where every point counts, right? And ST Loyal's not really doing well at these away matches. We knew that they were going to be away from Torero for quite a few matches,
Hmm.
and yeah, they played in Monterey Bay. It did not go well. I did not think it was going to be an easy matchup, just because Monterey Bay, they kind of seem like to me kind of like one of those they're not doing that well in the standings obviously, but when it comes to these West Conference teams or these California teams playing each other, it's
Yeah.
like they don't want to lose. No team wants to lose, and then Monterey Bay came out on top. And it was a 3-1,
Hmm.
right? And man, yeah, I did not think we are gonna go down like that. We had a red card, and it's just not really going our way. I mean, what do you think about the results? But it's just like we got to pick up points because it's starting to get dangerous, dangerously close. How it looked like last year for us, where we ended up dropping down the positioning, and we ended up, catching the number one seed, right? And then ended up losing in San Antonio, and then
Yeah.
it looks like it might happen again, but let's hope it doesn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely we could have definitely used those points, especially for the away matches. Um, it's not, it hasn't really been going our way when it comes to playing these teams, right? You lose 3-1 to Monterey, which is, like you said, they're not doing very good. in the standings, right? But they're still in playoff contention, for sure.
Yeah.
So they definitely have something to play for. Um, but as far as kind of the reminders of last season, right? Same thing. The Loyals started off pretty hot. They started going in, and then like towards the end, um, I did not have a good feeling about their momentum going into the playoffs. And I think right now, 6 games left, right? You got some really crucial games against some really good teams. You just got to make sure that we keep that momentum going forward because I mean we have the magic number is 1 for us to make the playoffs, right? That's the magic number.
Right.
We win a game, we're in. Uh, it would be awesome to win against San Antonio away and then clinch our playoff spot that way. But you know, the way it's going right now, it doesn't really seem. I mean, we got 8 points. We're 8 points behind. We got 6 games left. Um, some really tough teams coming up, right? Let's see, we have Sacramento, which is going to be the last game of the season, right? They're defending U.S. Open Cup, like, well, not second place, right? Let's just say we'll talk
Yeah.
about it a little bit later, right? They had a very impressive run towards the end. I think they have a lot to play for. You also have New Mexico, who's also playing for a playoff spot, and then Orange County. They're just kind of like they've kind of fallen off the map a little bit, but I mean, still always a tough match, especially away.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we got Phoenix Rising at home. Even though Phoenix Rising is not doing that great, I mean, they
They're
would always
dangerous.
love, yeah, they would always love to make our life even worse, right? Las Vegas, they're in the playoff hunt, so there are a lot of good games coming up, man. And
Yeah.
if the Loyal can't keep up if they can't build any kind of winning momentum going into the playoffs, I don't want to see another last year where we have to end up going somewhere else and
Yeah.
then lose that match, and then we're out of the first. Like momentum is everything. I mean, you know that, I know that, the players know that, and it's
Hmm.
just about keeping that winning mentality going into the final stretch of the season.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things I want to hit from what you just said, but yeah. First thing, I think San Diego needs, not San Diego County. Just I think we need, for the promotion of the club and the growth of it. I think we need a home playoff match. We couldn't get one last year because the drop off of the quality of play by Loyal. And
Hmm.
like you said, the next few matches we have are not going to be easy against Orange County. We're going to be playing at their home again.
Yep.
Sacramento's on that high that they got quality players. They were in the Open Cup final, lost it.
Yeah.
Via Spygate. We can talk about that later, but they did a really good job there. They're going to be riding on a high, and them knowing that they could potentially still reach the playoffs, they're going to be in a really magical season if they come out at the end of the season, reaching a position for the USL playoffs, and then also reaching the final for the US Open Cup, right? And then
Yeah.
Phoenix, we could either break their season when we play them, really, or they could break ours. So that match is freaking pivotal. Every game right now is going to be pivotal, and this season has become a very extraordinary season. Speaking of Orange County as well, that might be something we can talk about more in depth next time. But they're not doing really so well, with news coming out that they might not be playing at their stadium next season.
Hmm.
So the match that we have against them in Orange County could most likely be, from what it's looking like, the last match at Championship Park.
Yeah.
Just because I know there's some kind of city council vote, I believe next week,
Yep.
like September 13th or something like that. But it's not looking really well. It looks like there's kind of been some like behind the scenes discussions with the city of Irvine and LA Galaxy, which is not good at all. But it's not going to be good for Orange County, the way it appears. That it looks like they kind of already squared a deal out with the LA Galaxy. So, yeah, this season's really interesting. What I really don't want to see is just San Diego just dropping off, and us not reaching or just not maintaining our positioning where we get a home playoff match, because I think we need it so much. I think San Diego needs it. The growth of Loyal need it, and that's something I don't want to see. However, there are some rumblings. And that Landon Donovan is going to be on, I think, the Darren Smith show next week, I believe, or in a couple of days.
Oh.
And he's reporting, or there's rumblings that he's gonna have a special announcement which a lot of people are thinking is going to be a signing. At so late at the end of the season, or coming down to the end of the season, a lot of people are kind of just wondering who it could be or what it could be. But it looks like he's going to have some really big news coming in. So we'll see what happens there. Could it be what it's going to take for us to kind of push loyal to to like the brink of maintaining our positioning for a home playoff match. I don't know. It just really depends on how the whole team plays. I don't think it's really one person, so I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really heard much about the Lennon Donovan showing up at the Darren Smith show. I mean, you never know. I mean, it could be something to do with maybe I don't know. I don't know what other signing we need. To be honest with you, we all know our defense isn't doing that great. We have a problem game with the red cards. We're kind of losing the game ourselves. But I mean, I don't know. I think the window for the transfer window is kind of closed, right? For the signing, are they allowed to make signings this late in the season?
Yeah, the word is that they can bring players in still. So that's what the rumblings are. We'll see what happens, and I'm not gonna hold my breath on who's it going to be or if it's even going to be a signing. But Landon says a very big news in regards to the team. But a lot of rumblings are on in the social media and the discords is that it's going to potentially be a signing of somebody. But we'll see who it is. But either which way, the fact of the matter is, I don't think one player is going to come in and just outright change it unless you're going to bring in freaking Messi or Ronaldo. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't going to happen. So either which way, it's a team effort, and I'm just really scared right now that I'm really nervous. That if we don't go into San Antonio tomorrow, and speaking of that, it's going to be a very hot, humid day tomorrow in San Antonio. It's
Yeah.
going to be in the 90s at kickoff. I just have a fear that we're not going to play well. San Antonio's going to want to close us out. They know that we beat them at home convincingly, and if we even get a tie against them, and we have the break. We have the potential of like if we end up tying with them in points, that we'll jump ahead of them in the number one seed because of that. So they're gonna want to come out and win. But yeah, I'm just not really confident going into the match tomorrow, to be honest. And so we don't have Kyle Adams. So who are we gonna plug in there? Either Boxall or Riley or somebody. But I'm not really too confident with that. But that's why I'm a little bit nervous about tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a very tough match for sure. San Antonio's definitely gonna be they're gonna be gunning for us. But like I said, I mean, if we come out of there with a win, it might be like just a push in the the team needs to just kind of like to just kind of get over that hump, right? And I've kind of noticed like this San Diego Loyal team is one of those they really tend to play down to the level of their opponent, or they
Yeah.
play up to the level of their opponent. Um, it's giving me a lot of Mexico vibes, and
Mhm.
honestly, that's actually
Yeah.
really good, and at the same time very scary
Yeah.
because if we do come up, say we do come up with the second or third seed, we are going to have a home game, and if we play against a team that we know we can beat, there's probably quite the possibility where we're going to start playing down to our opponents. Um, I mean, it could always be like I don't know. I don't want to compare this to any kind of fear that I have, but I think tomorrow's actually going to be a really good test, and I think actually so. It looks like Landon Donovan is a first ballot Hall of Famer for the National Soccer Hall of Fame. So that's congratulations to him.
Yeah.
It's actually super well deserved. I'm actually surprised it's taken this long, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe there's a whole amount of years you have to be retired in order to be able to
Yeah.
go in there. So I know he was in the Darren Smith show. Yeah, that's saying yesterday. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how the team responds, and then maybe see how like what kind of changes are being made towards the end of the towards the end of the season.
Yeah. So yeah, well, let's dive into a little bit of the technicalities of what can possibly happen here. But right now we are in second place with 52 points. San Antonio's with 60, number one.
Hmm.
Position there. Colorado Springs is at 51, so they're nipping at our heels. Sacramento Republic has 43 points, but they have a game in hand as well as San Antonio, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of fearful that if we don't come out of San Antonio with at least a point, that it's going to start getting really difficult for us because of all the matches how we just mentioned against who we have here. I think in the top 7, we have to play Las Vegas Lights, who's at number 7. We have to play New Mexico at number 5. We have to play Sacramento Republic at number 4. Then we still got matches against Phoenix at the bottom of the table, Orange County. So we have a lot of difficult matchups, and we need to have a really good result tomorrow. So it's just one of those things where I'm biting my nails just because what we just said about last year, how we just dropped off. And I really strongly believe that if we would have maintained our positioning yesterday, because Orange County jumped us and took our positioning last year, and then went ahead and won the USL championship. So I strongly feel like if we would have maintained our positioning last year, I think that could have been us. And that's why I really don't want or I really just really hope that Loyal just maintain that focus, and Landon Donovan gets them all ready to go tomorrow, and just go out just like every match pretty much is going to be a playoff match.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you're right, man. I think it's like the way this is kind of set up for the USL playoffs is the number 1 seed gets a bye, and then 2, 3, and 4 get the home game. The way we're standing right now, we would play Las Vegas Lights, but there's still that could change dramatically, right? Because El Paso Locomotive, they've played 30 games and they're sitting at 40 points. That means LA Galaxy 2, Monterey Bay still in it, the RGV Toros, Oakland Roots. I think actually even Orange County is still technically in it. Um,
Yeah,
so that the bottom 4, 5, the 5, 6, 7, that could change like at any moment, and
exactly.
again, it's all just going to depend on how the rest of the season kind of plays out. Um, I don't honestly, I don't want to see LA Galaxy. I do not want to see them in the playoffs.
Hell
Um,
no.
that would be my biggest fear. Just because they always get the best of us, and I don't know what it is about that team. I don't know if it's just they always get the best of us every single time, especially here at home. Um, and
Yeah.
that would be out of every single team that's remaining, LA Galaxy 2 is the one team that I do not want to see us play in San Diego.
Oh man, that would suck so bad if we get them and we lose against them. Let's not even go there. But oh man, that'd be that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
But enough about all these ifs, ands, and buts. So let's get into the prediction real quick, and I want to get into the watch parties or where people are able to go. Um,
Yep.
oh man, uh, Jesus, this is a tough one for me because I really don't think like after the Monterey Bay match, I'm not really confident, But I mean, that's kind of just how football goes, right?
Hmm.
Football, soccer, you play bad one. How you just said we play up to our competition. We could have an awesome game. We've beat them before, but I don't think we're gonna come out of there with a win. So I'm gonna say we're gonna get a tie. I'm gonna say 2-2.
Uh, jeez. I mean, okay, look, I think we could beat them. I think we could beat them in San Antonio. They do have a really good home record. I think we could pull off a 1-0 win.
Good.
I really
Yeah,
think we
let's
do.
hope.
I really think we can.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, right.
All right. All right. Yeah, so those are our predictions, everybody. Neither one of us predicted a loss, but it's where they could win, they could tie, they could lose, but
We're
we're
optimistic.
just hoping, yeah, we're optimistic that at least we come out of there with a point, because even if we come out of there with a draw, that's going to benefit Loyal in the long run. We're
Yeah.
gonna just at least just start adding more of those points. So 1 point here, a win out those 2 wins that we're gonna have at home, if we can get those, and just start kind of just growing that lead. As long as we can maintain the top 3, I think we'll be okay. But we,
Hmm.
we really want to stay in that top 2. All right, yeah. So news tomorrow again. The weather's obviously going to impact, I'm sure, a lot of supporters of Loyal where they're going to go tomorrow to watch the match for an away day match. The good news, or the big news, for all the North County folk, there's not really too many watch parties that have been promoted for North County, but the one Loyal is promoting for tomorrow is over at Churchill's, and I believe in San Marcos.
San Marcos, yes.
Um, so it looks like a really cool spot. I'm hearing there's a pretty big expat English community around that area too. So I know that there's a video that came out that Loyal put out that the owners really trying to get the community up there in that area to follow Loyal. So that's going to be really cool to see, and hopefully it's a good turnout up there. I know there's a lot of locals and that have residency up there in North County, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty good turnout. And of course, our podcast, brought to you by Que Burros and also a new spot that I want to talk about shortly. But also, whoever's in South Bay, Que Burros is always going to be there. So whoever's in South Bay that doesn't want to drive far, that's the rain, the weather. Again, there's a lot of events going on tomorrow: UFC, baseball. The Loyal match is at 5:30, so there's going to be potential of people leaving after the Loyal match and going to see either the UFC or the baseball game. So but Que Burros is obviously going to have their it's not official, nothing from Chavos at the moment, but they always have their doors open for Chavos and local supporters to go watch Loyal play on their TVs there. So again, Que Burros in National City, that's always going to be there. And also a new spot over in East County. So we have a North County spot, a South Bay spot, and the East County spot that I want to mention called Dino's Pub. Dino's Pub in La Mesa. It's over on Baltimore Drive, just literally about on the corner away from the Costco over there in La Mesa. I was able to meet the bar manager there. Very cool person. She's basically letting us know that she is all in for Loyal. Even Dino as well, the owner. That they're showing Premier League, Champions League. Going to be showing World Cup games, but it's a very nice establishment, a very wide or open space rather. Very there it's a pretty good sized place for big groups, and they have big screen TVs. They have a pool table, drink specials. If you go in, saying that either Chelas con Chavos, or you're a loyal supporter, that you can go in there and get some discounts just for going in there. So if you're in East County tomorrow, go check out Dino's Pub. It is a 21 and up establishment. So if you have children, you might want to check out either Que Burros or I'm not sure if Churchill's is 21 up, but it's a bar and grill. So I think they will allow kids up there. But yeah, I want to just promote that Dino's Pub, Que Burros in South Bay, and Churchill's in North County. So wherever you are in San Diego County, you have a place to go tomorrow.
Yep, and also a Bottle Rocket for the locals that they've been promoting too. The Bottle
Yes.
Rocket down in downtown San Diego, where the old Monkey Paw used to be. It's literally right off the 8, or I'm sorry, the 94. Yeah, going into downtown San Diego. The second you get into downtown San Diego, it's the first bar on the right, and that's Bottle Rocket. So I know the locals have something going on over there too.
Yeah, it looks cool there too. They have food, and they also are permitting children.
Yep.
So I think until I believe it was 8 or 9 o'clock, but the match is going to be over by then. So it's the match Pacific time is 5:30, so it'll be over by 7:30. And again, after that, people can go either go watch the baseball game or go watch UFC. But yeah, so there's quite a few places tomorrow. Again, I know that again mentioned that the weather might kind of impact a lot of people's plans. Might not want to drive in the weather, or
Yep.
they might want to go. We'll get into Snapdragon right now, but they might want to go and suffer in the rain. Probably a big drastic weather change from the first game that SCSU had. But if you want to
Yeah.
go, the people are going to want to go watch SCSU play Idaho State at Snapdragon. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some people that want to go do that. But yeah, so speaking of that, Snapdragon, man, let's talk. Let's get real with this, man. Let's get real because there's a lot of, oh man, not gonna say it, man. There's you know what? This might be a topic for another time, but I kind of want to get into a little bit now. But there's one thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people getting really defensive, about Snapdragon, about either it's a good place or not. A lot of people from SCSU, of course, or I'm a San Diego State alumni, So I think
Yeah.
if anybody can critique SCSU is me, because I used to go there. I want the best for that school. Again, I just don't like I don't like how what happened with Soccer City, but I'm over it. I'm over that really. But and I want the best for that stadium. You actually went to the stadium, so you already commented on that last time, and
Yeah.
I really do want the best for it. But I just feel like I think man, San Diego I just feel like San Diego we just be getting you know hung around like a like a hungry dog,
Yeah.
and things just don't go our way. The big news is too that about the Midway Rising. I'm not sure if you heard, or everyone's heard that there's some litigation issues that Midway Rising's going through, or some defaults or some financial stuff that they didn't disclose to the city. So there's a couple things there. I think involved in like litigation. Pretty much a lawsuit that they're getting sued for non-payments, for defaults. I think some tax issues as well. So that could actually affect the Midway Rising situation because City Council is going to vote on that in a couple of days.
Yeah.
I think this coming week. So it actually the news probably for good news for Midway Plus is actually it's probably came out at the right time because I was already canceling out Midway Plus. So now that this news came out, is actually probably a good thing for Midway Plus. But I'm kind of just over just talking about the Midway area right now because it's going like left, it's going right, it's going up, it's going down. You don't even know what's going on anymore. So I'm kind of just over it, but that's kind of good news for it's like a lifeline for the Midway Plus whole bid. We'll see what happens there next week. But going back to Snapdragon, I just feel like I think a lot of complaints, man. I just look it up. A lot of fans of SDSU are complaining really hardcore about the first game, how it was basically a hellhole. So many things went wrong. The trash system or the trash pickup was not well, and obviously it's understood because everybody was hanging out at the concourse area. I'm assuming because of the shade, that little shade that it does have. Everyone was hanging out in one area, which caused all the trash to kind of mount up. The payment system went down. Everyone was it was 100 degrees, and there was firefighters trying to save people from heat exhaustion, if not heat strokes. Some of the employees were giving free water out just because they're seeing the difficulty that was going on with the climate.
Hmm.
But that's one thing a lot of people have been saying online is that why was there never a canopy? We talked about it before in the past. Remember we talked about it how we went to Dignity Health, for the match, the Open Cup match against Galaxy, and how we love the canopy. Not necessarily just because it's covering the seats or it's protecting our skin, which is a plus, but just because it holds in the sound and makes just everything just a lot more just like more of an atmosphere. So
Yeah.
but I want to see what your opinions were on the whole SCSU Snapdragon situation.
Honestly, I think San Diego State kind of they jumped the gun a little bit when it came to like they knew ahead of time there was gonna be a heat wave. They had plenty of time to plan. They could have just moved the game over a few hours into the evening when the sun wasn't so hot. Um, I think it was a little irresponsible of them to not think of that. Um, but when they came out, they kind of came out with their own statement saying that not every game is going to be in the day. A majority, if not
Yeah.
a vast majority of games that are going to be played at Snapdragon is going to be in the evening. So a canopy for them didn't really make much sense. And also that I think it added like an extra $100 million or $50 million to the cost or something like that. I don't know. Some ridiculous number like that, which it doesn't really seem like it should cost that much, given that there are a lot of other stadiums
Yeah.
that were built way cheaper and have
Yep.
covers. So
Exactly.
I don't know who the hell they went through and to get their stuff, but Bank of California Stadium costs significantly less than Snapdragon, and they have a cover. So it's just
Yeah.
like what the hell? What are you talking about, man? But
Yeah.
um, again, it's a San Diego State problem for the future. Again, I do agree that not every game is going to be 105 degrees, or like even 100 degrees. Um, but I do think they should have I don't know, man. Like you start seeing all the memes online, right? San Diego State announces a sellout, and there's only 100 people in the stands because everybody's in the
Yeah,
shade.
yeah,
I think, honestly, if they wanted to debut their stadium, that was a very bad way of doing it.
yeah,
And yeah, man, I think they messed up. They messed up big time. But I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be in the long run. It's still gonna be a good stadium. But they should really start looking into maybe adding that expanded canopy later on in the future, or at least something retractable, right? It doesn't have to be permanent. I mean, you can freaking get canopies for pretty freaking cheap. I mean, in my
yeah,
opinion, I don't know. I don't know if you don't want to go to Home Depot and cover the whole freaking stadium, right? But
yeah,
but I'm sure there's some sort of temporary solution they can come up with. But I don't know. I'm still looking forward to the to be going able to go to Snapdragon. Um, it's not gonna be for the Wave game for myself, but I mean, at some
mhm.
point, I will be going to a game over there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Again, we're not hating on Snapdragon at all like that. We're gonna go. Both of us live here in San Diego. Obviously, we want to go check it out. You already went. I want to go. I'm planning on going to that Wave match on Friday. I think it's on the 30th. Um, but yeah, so SCSU's um are claiming that they couldn't move the game time because it was on CBS, scheduling because it was pretty much national televised. I don't know how much to believe that. Um,
But
but that's it.
you gotta put the safety of people over
Yeah,
freaking nationally televised game, especially
yeah,
the safety of the players too. I mean, I
exactly.
don't know. I mean, I don't know if you've ever played. I mean, I played like maybe one season of football in high school, but it's not a whole lot. I'm not saying I'm a pro or anything, but I do remember it was hot under those pads, man. It was hot as
Yeah,
hell. And imagine doing that in 100-degree heat. No way, man. They should just. And then on top of that, their home jerseys. I mean, pretty much their entire home uniform is black and white.
yeah,
It's just like yeah, no, they should have done that for the safety of the uh of the students as well as safety of the fans. But I mean, that
yeah.
just goes to show you, man. They're just they're putting their profits over over people, and I don't think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, a lot of people are getting really defensive about this, and I'm hearing a lot of just hatred against the soccer community, compared to like the college football community. And then there's like the NFL, you know, uh, lovers that are still dreaming that the NFL is going to come back, and they're saying, what a poor excuse of a stadium. How are you ever going to get a NFL back with that poor excuse of a stadium? And then the college, football SCSU lovers are defending it with the hard with pretty much hardcore responses, defending it, and obviously people in the soccer community are have their opinions against it. And everyone's kind of just going at each other, right? Which I think it's pretty sad, but again, I wish it the best. Out of they're going to be playing against tomorrow. Like they went 1 week where it's extreme heat. Now tomorrow is going to be raining, and how many people are going to actually going to fill those stands? A lot of people are not going to want to probably show up because of the weather. They're not allowing umbrellas tomorrow. They are allowing what is it called, rain, like those raincoats, things of that sort. But they're not allowing umbrellas. You can bring water, but I mean, what's the kind of point you're gonna be? You can just open your mouth and then just drink some water, like. But it's gonna be raining. But I mean, I don't see it having a pull in a good crowd tomorrow. But again, I do wish the stadium the best, and I just hope they can fix these issues because I'm going to be going there too. I'm going to be planning on going with my kids, and I don't want to be encountering any BS. I know the parking situation was another matter that a lot of people were complaining about. How long it took to get into
Especially
the stadium. Yeah, the price of the parking. They took like an hour and something to get into the stadium and things of that sort. So I hope all that gets fixed tomorrow. I hope they hope to learn from what happened last week. I hope on the match that Wave's gonna have there against Angel City is gonna be a sellout, and I hope it's gonna be warm weather still. They're gonna have probably a lot more people there than they were at the STSU's match. The whole match, not just the beginning of it, where people just left later on because it was so hot. It's gonna be pretty much a consistent, 2 hours, over 2 hours of people in the stands watching it. So I hope all the logistics gets all figured out. But yeah, I mean, we're hoping for the best, and I'm gonna be there, and I want to make we'll come on the pod, and I want to discuss. You have you witnessed it already, you were there, and I want to come on too and kind of talk about my experience there too. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Hey, did you get a chance to watch the US Open Cup game?
I did. I made an effort to definitely watch that. But yeah, it was on ESPN Plus. However, the commenting was really good. The camera, pretty much, quality was excellent. It looked like you were watching almost like a Premier League, game, or if
Yeah.
not like a top quality MLS match.
It did. I was kind of upset that it was only available on ESPN
Yeah,
Plus. I mean, come on, man. It's the oldest soccer tournament in North America. Like, why can you just not for one day put it on ESPN, even ESPN2,
yeah,
like, or ESPN News, anything. But why put it behind a
yeah,
paywall? It's like you
yeah,
just it's it should be. This is our FA Cup. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, why are we? I don't know, why are we not promoting this, especially if it's a USL team versus an MLS team? Like, I don't
yeah,
know if it was just like an MLS thing that's like, oh, you know what, we don't want to show a potential loss to USL team, because
yeah,
ESPN does have a contract with the MLS. Um, but the fact that it was on just on an app base, that really upset me. I
hmm,
mean, you got a team like Sacramento Republic who pretty much just like, a Cinderella story going all the way through, and then Orlando City, like, spying on their team, like,
hmm,
during their training. It's just like,
yeah,
like, why isn't this in the national stage? Why is this only behind, the
yeah.
paywall that ESPN Plus, So that I was really upset. But as far as the game goes itself, Sacramento put up a very, very good effort. And unfortunately they just kind of fell behind towards the end, and there was nothing really they could do.
Yeah, yeah, it was what, like 75 minutes of pure quality, just, both teams going at each other. There's a lot of you know, just really defensive quality plays where, I'm surprised the referee didn't red card nobody. There's a lot of plays where I think that he could have busted out yellows like more than a couple occasions, but he tried to let the play go, which I think is awesome because if it would have been ugly where there'd been yellows getting here and there and then red cards and then it just would have just made a really mess of the whole final. But I think Orlando has a beautiful stadium. Again, I just get jealous of watching these stadiums that look so beautiful. And I know, again, we have Snapdragon, it's a new stadium too. And I had to go there and kind of witness it myself to kind of, kind of see how it goes. But that's why I'm really, really um, I can't wait for pretty much the Waves game. It's gonna be a sellout. I want to see how the whole ambiance there. I'm gonna have to record it 'cause I'm gonna be over at Torero, but I want to see how it looks like there, and that's gonna kind of like be like, oh wow, it looks amazing. But Orlando has a beautiful stadium. The supporters are obviously came out in full force. Sacramento had a bunch of supporters there, so it was a good atmosphere. But like how you said, I don't know why what this thing is about soccer that we're still not getting the love, that I think that we deserve. Like having the match played on ESPN Plus. And it should have been nationally televised. Like on like ESPN2. How
Even
you said ESPN News or whatever. I don't know if it was on the Spanish channel. I don't know, but
it should have been on ABC too. I mean, there's really not a whole lot going on ABC, especially, during the middle of the week, right? Like, just
exactly,
freaking throw it on there, man. Like, who
yeah.
cares?
And Americans love. It doesn't matter what sport you love. Americans love the underdog story. They
Yeah.
could have talked about Sacramento and kind of did a whole pregame, kind of like, documentary, a docu series on Sacramento coming up and going to, knocking out several MLS clubs in Orlando. Their history. And it gets people interested on either side. Either they get interested in Orlando, even though they're not from Florida or Orlando. They kind of, oh, I like Orlando, what they've been doing, or they're gonna get into Sacramento Republic and then be, oh wow, I like what they're doing, how they beat this MLS club. What's going on with MLS and USL and Pro Rail? And it'll get people interested, but they ended up keeping it on ESPN Plus, which was I was pretty shocked. But again, the quality was good. I think the refereeing was relatively well. The ambiance was awesome. It was a really awesome match, to watch.
Yeah. I think also another thing that kind of just to kind of go back on the missed opportunity is that, the only the hardcore American soccer fan knows what the US Open Cup is. this could have been a great way for the U.S. Soccer Federation to promote and to kind of educate the newer soccer fan on what the Open Cup is, right? Like the history behind it.
Yeah,
Which teams that won in the past, it was the amateur teams that used to win. It's been dominated by MLS in the past few years, and the only team that ever won was the Charlotte Battery out of the USL during the MLS dominance. And stuff like that is something that I think the newer soccer fan would appreciate. The fact that they could be like, "Hey, here's this over 100-year tournament, man, that you probably never
yeah,
knew we had, but we have it now. And this team right here from currently sits in fifth place or sixth place in the Western Division of the second division of U.S. Soccer Pyramid is playing against a MLS team that is probably not doing too great either. I mean, I don't know where
yeah,
Orlando's standings are, but I think it was a missed opportunity for
yeah,
U.S. Soccer Federation to educate the newer fan base that they're kind of building on.
yeah. Yeah, and our ex player Douglas Martinez Jr. was playing, so it was good to see him.
Yeah,
Someone that a lot of us got to meet. A lot of us that were able to pretty much see play
Blue
here
Black.
at Loyal and yeah, so it was good to see him out there. And again, the a lot of people were commenting that the difference of of skills was not too great. I just
No,
think at the end, I think it was a couple of errors, that the defensive errors Sacramento had. It wasn't really like, Orlando didn't go in there and just whoop on Sacramento.
yeah,
It was a pretty solid match for 75 minutes. But then a defensive error called a slip up, and then
mhm,
if you've played soccer, you know that once you go one goal down, you start kind of opening yourself up. You
yeah,
start
try to
kind
go
of
for that tie, especially during the
yeah,
final. I mean,
that's what happens in every soccer game. You're down now, and now you can't just sit back anymore. Now you got to go look for the game, and then that's where kind of more errors happen. You open yourself more, and that's just basically what happened with Sacramento. But I give them kudos for their play. Quality. I mean, USL is really. I'm just really proud of USL. There's a lot of quality players in USL, and there's gonna be more coming in. And like so, but I mean, I think it was great, but it was a missed opportunity, how you said. It could have been done better in regards to promotion of it. There's a lot of these shows now you see on TV, like Welcome to Wrexham,
yeah,
and Sunderland, Till I Die that you could stream. So they could have, like I said, they could have done. There could have been like a little docu series of Sacramento, and then the Millionaire Club, right, Orlando, and then like the not Millionaire Club, Sacramento, and then the whole story with Sacramento and MLS, making kind of like that battle of like
yeah,
like the David versus Goliath, and it could have been a lot
yeah,
more, you know.
yeah, and it was actually kind of nice to see you know, the the support that some of the fan bases of those teams that went from USL to MLS, like they're everybody's saying like, oh, Sacramento deserves an MLS team. And, you got people like in Portland and Cincinnati and like all these areas are like, you know what, just it's probably better off you sticking to USL, man, because
Yeah,
MLS only they only got one thing in mind and one thing only, that's to make money, and that's it.
yeah. Yeah, a
Um,
lot of people are saying on social media, like, "Hey, I hope we'll see you guys, Orlando." They're like saying, "I hope we see you guys in the MLS Cup or whatever." And then a
yeah,
lot of people in Sacramento or a lot of people are commenting too. No, you guys don't want to go to MLS and stay in
no,
USL. You guys are great. Build a brand in USL.
yeah.
Um.
I
So yeah,
actually, speaking of that, man, I do want to maybe we should do a show later on, talk about the Wrexham, and all these other shows that are coming out, man. Because I've been actually watching Wrexham. This is Wrexham for the past few weeks, man. It's actually really good, dude.
yeah, I like it.
I
I'm
love it.
watching. I watched I think this was it the episode 5 yesterday. I have to watch episode 6. I think there's only 2 episodes left, but yeah, it's really good. I'm also watching Sunderland Till I Die.
Yep.
I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, so I'm watching that as well. But yeah, I mean, again, I think MLS and could have done a little bit something like that, with the Open Cup, but
Yeah.
anyways. Um yeah, so what other topics, man? Hey, so this is a interesting little topic. I want to see what your input is on this. But big news, obviously, in England that Queen Elizabeth the second passed away yesterday. You're into Premier League. I'm into Premier League. We're Latino Americano. Background. Obviously, we have some cultural background of Latin America and stuff like that. But we're obviously a hardcore, American here.
Yeah,
I wanted to see your input on this because a lot of British citizens or a lot of people are kind of on different ropes on this, and I'm not really one to comment on it, but there's a lot of people in England who are obviously all up on all about the monarchy, that they're all upset, because you heard that EPL or the Premier League is going to be taking a 10-day recess, to mourn,
yeah,
for the loss of Queen Elizabeth. And a lot of people, like blue collar English folk, like us, we're blue collar Americans here. They're not
yeah,
happy about it because a lot of people work at the stadiums. A lot of people paid for the tickets. A lot of people were going to go to the hotels, and now that there's going to be money lost, the economy is going to take a little bit of a hit. People are work, but yet they have to go to work. They're not going to get paid just because the queen uh, passed away, and now it's affecting their lives, and a lot of them are upset because of the kind of the whole COVID thing, which impacted the clubs. So now there's not going to be a revenue stream for a couple of weeks for the clubs, for the people. They're going to have to work, and a lot for a lot of these English citizens or English fans and whatnot. Like it's their life, so it's like it really affects them. And But the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because, again, over there's a lot of blue collar folk that are not all about the monarchy, who are really upset about it, and then there's obviously those who are all about the monarchy and are really upset about it and saying it's the right thing. But my opinion is, maybe it would have been the right thing to do 100 years ago, when things, right now everybody needs to work every day. Everyone needs to get that dollar and that pound, the English pound or whatever. But the reason why I bring this up is because, like, I have, my family's from Latin America. You have ancestry there as well, but I got family that, that came from South America and Mexico too, and pretty much almost every Latin American country where in Colombia, I'm not sure if there was actually an actual president that was, that's the ruler of the country, right? Kind of like, Queen Elizabeth's not really making the political decisions for the most part, right? But I mean,
spearhead. Yeah, they're just
she's
spearheads now.
like spearheader, right? But
Mhm.
I don't recall. I mean, you can comment on Mexico. I kind of looked it up, but I don't think I actually saw one. But I don't think officially there's been a assassinated Mexican president or Colombian president. But the thing is, there's been several presidential candidates that have been killed, a lot in Mexico and in South America, but never did from my I searched it. Never did the whole country took a 10-day recess. They never took a, maybe a 1-day recess. Maybe like, hey, this, we're not going to play today just because of this such a big impact of what happened. 1 day, understood. Let everybody kind of just kind of gather themselves. But having a 10-day recess, even for presidential candidates that were having killed in Latin America, I have not seen that. But I mean, because I think they know that the cycle of life has to move on, that people need to work. People can't be without working for so long. But I mean, I just want to see what your whole input was on what's going on over there with the queen. Obviously a big figure, but it's just one of those kind of like blue collar kind of type of things where they're not happy with we're the ones that get affected because of what the wealthy or the rich decide on, so I
I
want
mean,
to see what
I don't know how, like, I don't know how big the queen is over there. I don't know how big the monarchy is over there. I mean, I have a few British friends here, and just you know, just people that kind of served under the the flag of the British Empire, right? The Union Jack. Uh, but to be honest, I don't really mind the 10-day grace period. Um, but at the same time, I do not mind if like the sporting teams to actually just be like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna have a moment of silence at the beginning of every game for the EPL. That I think that probably would have been respectable too. I really don't understand I don't understand monarchies, especially
Right.
monarchy. Like to be honest with you, I don't I don't get why uh, especially just a figurehead, somebody that doesn't have any kind of political clout. Um, that to me, that mean I like I said, I don't want to insult any of my my British friends or anything like that, or anybody that could have served in the under under like a monarchy, like for the armed forces or whatever. Um, I do see why they would decide to take a 10-day break, but at the same time, I also do see like, hey, maybe you could just continue on, as life, and just maintain that moment of silence, right? Like use it as a celebration. I don't know how it is over like in other areas of the world, but when something were to happen in like say in Mexico, right? They would probably just name the jornada after her, or maybe just change the season after somebody, right? You can probably call it the 2022 Premier League season or the Queen Elizabeth season or something like that, right? Just do
Yeah.
something to honor her that way. But I mean, I don't know. That's just that's a very tough call because like you're right, man. Some people just don't like monarchies. Some people support the crown over there. Some people don't support the crown over there. It's like I have learned that England, or especially the United Kingdom, is very similar to America, as in like they're just as divided as we are. Um,
Yeah.
so it's just it's interesting that that people are actually arguing about that, especially when it comes to just to soccer. Um, but at the same time, I mean, it's like a queen, probably the longest reigning queen
Yep.
in the history, that really passed away. I mean, she survived a lot of U.S. presidents, and I'm pretty sure, like her son looks almost just as old as she was. Um, obviously she was she was somebody to be celebrated, but how to celebrate it, I really don't. I don't. I don't understand like how or what the regulations are for that. Um, but like I said, I do see why there's a 10-day stoppage period, but at the same time, I do see like why people would be upset. It's just like just like I said, just do the minute of silence, 2 minutes of silence,
Yeah.
um, or dedicate a certain time for her, whatever, like the 90th minute for her, or I don't know, something. It could have been something, anything could have been better, but at the same time, everything would have been not fine with everybody.
Yeah.
There's always somebody who's gonna complain.
Yeah. Yeah, well, speaking of that too, just what's going on over there in England with that USA plays England in the World Cup, and in November, so that's going to be a very emotional, game, for for England players and England as a whole, and obviously for USA now, because now USA is going to go into that match and be like, wow, there's going to be more pressure on England, to do good in the World Cup, because they're going to be like, hey, they're going to be really patriotic, um, you know, uh, and they're going to really want to make sure that with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and that this year that we know what happens if they actually win it all. What happens if they bring it home, and there's going to be a big old thing, right? Like it's coming home, and then because they're gonna say like the whole year was their year, as far as for patriotism, because Queen Elizabeth passed away, and then they won the World Cup, and then so it's gonna be really big for them over there. So it's gonna make, I think it's gonna up the game against against USA, England USA. So I think it's gonna be a very, very interesting World Cup.
Yeah, I don't think England's gonna win it personally. Yeah, but I mean, I can see it be like an extra, an extra incentive, right? I mean, the U.S. What is it? The England women's under 20, they did win the Euros under 20, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I can't believe the World Cup's getting so freaking close, man. I'm
Yeah, it's
actually
got what.
it would have happened already, like we would have under a normal schedule, we would already had a champion by now, but
Yeah, 2 months, less than 2 months, I believe.
once man, Thanksgiving week, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's
watch
coming up
USA
soon.
versus
So
England, but I mean at the same time, man, I'm looking forward to that Mexico lineup too, dude.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If ST Loyal goes far in the playoffs, man, like it would be really, we get crowned champions of USL just a couple weeks later. This is going to be the World Cup. So there's be a lot of footy action in San Diego.
Yeah,
Even Wave too. Wave looks like they're going to be going to the playoffs too. So there's going to be a lot of San Diego footy action going into a couple weeks before the World Cup. So it's a lot of things to watch on TV in regards to soccer this year. So that's pretty
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now, dude. It's just I'm liking our chances, dude. I mean, I don't know. I think USA really had a hard draw, especially with Wales. Taking that last spot. That I mean they're unpredictable, man. They're a wild card. Um,
Yeah, it's not going to be
I
easy.
It's not gonna be easy at all, man. But like I said, USA has a
Yeah,
good squad. Um, so I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. And Mexico's always, looking good, looking good. I mean, Argentina's always gonna be a tough sell, but we can beat them. I mean, they're not unbeatable, especially to us because we see them all the time. Um,
hmm
Poland, we could beat Poland too. I definitely see it in for you, man. It's just man, it's gonna be crazy, man.
yeah. It's going to be interesting World Cup.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, any other last comments? Any other topics
Nah,
that you
man,
want
it's
to
just
talk about?
everybody. It's the weather's a little crazy. Everybody drive safe. I know we're not used to a lot of rain out here, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
like going from 100 and some degrees to like 75 and wet. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna be very, very, very tested this weekend. But I mean, just stay safe, man.
Yeah, so yeah, again, there's a lot of San Diego sports this weekend. Very big sports. Dodgers in town against the Padres.
Mhm.
UFC this weekend. Loyals playing. It's gonna be a lot of activity. The weather, so it's SCSU and everything. So everyone be safe out there. Stay dry. And again, we just mentioned if you're regional county or North County, East County, South Bay or Central, there's somewhere for you to go to watch the loyal
Yep.
match. So everyone be safe. So
Everybody be safe. Hey, man,
cool.
we'll talk to you next week after the yeah, after hopefully we can pick up that W at San Antonio. But yeah,
Exactamundo. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for listening.
all right, take care, guys.
Have a great night.